What's up, everybody? We're back. It's been a minute, but we're happy to be back. It's myself, Mr. Raider, and the one and only.
Guess who the Zach? It's a hater with facts. What's going on, y'all? We are back.
Right. We're
We are
back.
back.
And as always, we say welcome back, welcome back,
Welcome back.
welcome back.
Welcome back. Yes,
All right.
sir.
So we
Woo.
got some stuff we want to talk about today or tonight or whatever you want to call it. But we're gonna start with some NBA, some NFL, and then whatever else we want to talk about. So buckle up, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Let's go, man. Lead us off.
Right. So, as you know, it is April, and that means that it is NBA playoff time. We are finally here. And right now, we got some games going on. This is a Wednesday evening podcast today. And we're still in the first round. And the only team that has been sent home so far has been the Phoenix Suns because the Oklahoma City Thunder basically
Yeah.
spanked their asses for 4 straight games.
Yes. I mean, that was on the verge of child abuse. That was bad.
Yo,
Child
man.
abuse, elder abuse, pet abuse, whatever you want to put up there. That was
Oh,
bad.
anything they wanted to put out there, they abused it. That's basically what they did, man.
Yep. They took their lunch money, they rent, they utility bill.
Bruh.
Man,
It was ugly. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was mistaken. Both Oklahoma City and San Antonio took care of business.
yeah.
Oklahoma City was 5 game I'm sorry, Oklahoma City was a sweep, and San Antonio was a gentleman's sweep in 5 games. They took care of business last night. So, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
But
so as far as go ahead.
real quick, so on the Spurs series though, so I watched some of the games and man, let me tell you something. That series wasn't as close as it should have. I mean, like it could have easily been a sweep. And I think Wembanyama missed one game because of
Yes.
concussion. And I
Yes.
think that's the game they
And
lost, right?
yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
even then, it was only by 1 or 2 points or something like that. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's I mean, first and foremost, can we please we have to, give, we are a San Antonio show, and we got to say, Webby, I know you visited Monks over the summer and you went to, the leaders of the past to get those aspects of your game. But I recommend that this summer that you go to the Performance Center in Florida of the WWE and learn how to fall because the
Man,
Tim
the
Burr,
man's like
you know what
8
I'm
feet
saying?
tall, man. He falls like a
No,
redwood. What you talking about?
bro, I have never seen a man's head bounce like a basketball before because he tripped. I've never seen it.
Mm.
I felt bad, but we talked about it on the show before. Like watching him live is like him doing certain things is scary, and the reason why it's scary is because of what happened that night. Because it's like
Yeah.
I don't want to see him fall to the ground, and and I was just seeing that on TV, I'm like, oh my lord, like is he okay? And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how did he escape without having some type of fractured jaw or something?
Yeah, that's a long way down, bro.
Yes. Oh my god.
On hardwood, you
Yes.
know?
And he bounced twice. I was like, yo, what is wrong? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Check on him.
Yeah,
So,
I was like, "Ooh, okay.
yeah.
I know that shit hurt."
Yeah.
I hope he's
I was like,
okay, though.
yeah. Yeah. And the fact he only missed 1 game is a blessing. I mean, because I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
if it was the NFL, I thought we wouldn't see him for a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and you got what, Luka missing out because of an oblique? Am I correct on
Mm,
that? I'm pretty sure it's
mm-mm.
something like that. And I'm
No,
like, "Man,
it's a hamstring.
hamstring. Oh, okay. I thought it
Yeah.
was an oblique." So I saw something about obliques, but something's to be said about today's NFL players compared to say, Jordan's generation and the generation before him, if you will. Right, these guys would play all the time. Jordan played when he had the flu, and you got
Right.
current players taking a rest day. You know,
Yeah. You yeah, I know we'll touch on this subject a little bit, like a little hidden stat about like games played and stuff like that. And now they have to incentivize players, especially your star players, to do those types of things.
yeah,
And it's like I understand why, folks, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but our generation is so surprised about how, oh my God, why are you complaining about playing 65 games? Like,
yeah,
like Like, you were considered a punk if you didn't play more than 70 games. Like, it's
Right.
like
Yeah. Jordan
it's
didn't want you on the team if you couldn't play every game.
right. Yeah. Like, I need you here. I need you present. And it's like, and some of the stuff that they were getting away with, both not just players, but teams throughout this entire season. We've pointed this out on the show multiple times.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And so
Oh,
I'm
I'm
pretty
sorry.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. So,
Yeah.
sidebar. Did you
Sure.
see the new news release about what the NFL owners are gonna be voting on in terms of anti-tanking? Have you seen that yet?
The NFL or NBA?
The NBA, I'm sorry, the NBA. The
Um,
NBA owners.
I did not look at the full list. I saw, like, a couple of weeks ago, they were putting out, like, potential ideas they were gonna bring up, but I haven't seen what they were actually going to propose yet.
So I saw something yesterday. I mean, it might have changed, but where so you can't have the number one pick back to back. You can't be in the top three consecutive years because you're not going to get the number one pick after that. And there was something else on there that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I was thinking, okay, wait a minute. So if that's the case, right? So then that means that the Spurs wouldn't have been able to draft who they drafted,
Nope.
right? Because those
And
were all top five picks or top
yes,
three picks.
yes. Before, let's see, I wanna say Stephon Castle was number 3, Wemby
Yeah.
was number 1, of course, and then because he got hurt, that gave them another top 3 pick to get Dylan Harper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
So how are they gonna work this?
right, so I know we talked about this. Now, this is before I think we never actually posted it, the episode where we talked about this, about my ideas, especially about how the draft lottery. But I'll bring it up now.
Okay.
The one sure way that they can make people at least get off their back is they need to take the lottery back to the old school. What I mean by that is when I was a kid, the state lottery was always on TV and the numbers are drawn right in front of your face. You see the ping pong balls go in the little thingy, and they draw out the numbers, and you figure out who the winner was. No issue, no problem. I don't understand in the world of 2026 where you have Big Brother basically everywhere. Everybody got a camera in their face, but somehow, some way, we're not allowed to see
Mm,
ping pong balls for the NBA. That
yeah,
makes no sense. You know what I'm saying?
I
You
agree.
know, we so if you get rid of that, that will, especially for all this stuff about, this significant or I don't know, this random pattern that comes out where a star player gets traded from a team and somehow they end up with a number 1 pick,
Yeah. Right?
especially when that guy just so happens to be a generational talent. Huh,
Yeah.
okay. So, NBA, Adam Silver, this is free advice, sir. I ain't charging you for nothing. All you got to do is do the opposite of Marvin Sapp. Open the doors. Ju just o just open the doors, let the people in, and let them see the process in front of everybody's face. So there's
That's right.
no doubt anybody has any questions. Now now the other thing too, for me, as far as you really wanna settle this stuff, especially for all this, like, when teams are actively trying to sit people and lose on purpose, I know how you solve that.
All
If
right.
you wanna still do a lottery system and you still wanna do all this odd stuff, and a side note, I think the other thing, if I remember right, they were talking about just standardizing the the lottery odds just straight, like
Oh, yes.
everybody has the same odds regardless. So that was the other thing I think they were trying to talk about too. But my thing is this: you can keep the odds, no problem, but you reward the team you like the lottery teams. The number of the most ping pong balls goes to the team with the higher winning percentage, not the lower winning percentage.
Yeah.
So, and to me, it's like, oh well, wait. Now you're only just punishing teams to be worse. Too
Yeah.
bad. Try harder. I don't care. If you're willing to tell players that they can't get end of season awards because they're not playing, well then you shouldn't get higher draft lottery odds because you don't want to play those players.
Right.
You got to equal the punishment across the board, not just the players, but the teams got to suffer too. Especially since you handing out these weenie ass fines to these teams that are making billions, like
Yeah.
500,000. Get out of here. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. They make that and more than that in beer every
like,
game night.
come on now. And every time they sit people, but you charge full price for everybody to get up in the building. You still charging full price for all the food and the drinks and the jerseys are sometimes I feel like the jerseys are jacked up an extra 5%. So
Yeah.
I don't want to hear nothing.
I'm in agreement, man. I'm in agreement.
Mm.
You know, that escalated rather quickly, but
Sorry. When it comes out of this tanking stuff, man, especially when these same owners are trying to cry for, and I saw like the owner of the Trailblazers or somebody, like they're trying to cut costs
oh,
somehow.
I
I'm
think
like,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I heard about
yeah.
that.
I'm like, yo, like, bruh, you,
Yeah.
you really you're trying to cut costs, like basically trying to doge an NBA team. What are you doing? That's not gonna entice people to come play for you, bro.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's hilarious,
um,
man.
yeah, that's crazy. But I want to touch a little bit about some of the awards. Not all of them has been announced, but as I'm pretty sure, I know you've been out for a minute, but there was this big controversy about some of the injuries, like Cade Cunningham, he got hurt back in March, and then when Luca was basically scoring on everybody and anybody and stuff like that, and everyone's talking about him possibly being MVP, and then he got hurt, and everyone's talking about the thresholds and all that type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw this or not, but the agents for Luca and Cade appealed to the league to say, hey, for Cade's case, it was like, hey, yeah, he had a punctured lung and he came back and he fell 1 game short. And then for Luca, there was like, hey, he missed 2 games because he flew back home to the birth of his first child. So
Mm,
they appealed that, and I think Luca total fell 2 games short, and Cade fell 1 game short. So they're like, all right, cool, we're cool with that. Now Anthony Edwards, he also tried to appeal too, but it fell short. Now I think he was like 50, no, I think like 59 or 60 games. I think that's what he had total. But they're like, no, we can't stretch it that far. But
yeah.
but the one thing that no one talked about, and I feel like what opened the door for any of them to actually be eligible was Wemby.
Mm,
Because technically, if you look at his his overall stats for the season and games started, it's still at 64. Because when he got hurt back in March, he only had to play going into April, which is only has 2 games, 2 or 3 games left. He only needed to play for 20 minutes in any of the remaining 2 games for him to qualify for the threshold, right?
mm,
But he didn't play. So I'm saying, wait a minute, how is he eligible and he didn't play?
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So what ended up happening was because the Spurs played the Knicks in the NBA Cup back in December. They played in the final in that game. So they allowed that game to count as an official game that he played. So there's a loophole that they used. Now, here's the problem with that though. Here's the catch with it. The stats from the NBA Cup does not count. But
What?
the game, yes, but the
Huh.
game that they played in does count. How does that work?
Yeah. Come on.
So
Is it not basketball still during the season? That should count.
right. So I'm like, now, of course, if your stats don't count, and they say that the games technically are not counting towards your overall record, which is technically true. So how in the world, if the games don't count towards your overall record and your stats don't count towards any awards or anything or for your season, then how in the world does the game count when it comes to end of season awards? So I think those agents presented that to the league and said, "Hey, this is some foul stuff. You actually had you actually had 2 people that were out for because of legitimate injuries. They tried to come back and stuff like that, or in Luca's case for the birth of his kid. But you're gonna allow a dude to escape, not even stepping on the floor of a game when he could have, but he did not, and you're gonna retroactively count a game that's not supposed to count towards a team record. So
Yeah.
that was a little shady, but I figured they didn't want that controversy to stick around, so they're like, okay, Cade, Luca, you can now count for end of season awards. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
NBA, y'all. This is why people think they be thinking bad thoughts sometimes.
Yeah, for real. I
Yeah,
get it, man. I don't have I was thinking, okay, maybe I should just do like a counter argument to that, but I don't have anything. I mean, I think what you're making is very fair and valid points and
mm,
questions, to be honest with you. I mean, I think to the average NBA fan too, they're probably thinking the same thing,
right.
you know.
Now, of
Even
course, people.
casuals are probably thinking the same thing, you know?
Yeah, because I didn't even know that was even a thing until the question about Wemby came along. Because I was like, I was thinking, I was like, man, I thought for sure this is the last two games. Because at that point he got hurt in the 76er game, and it was like his elbow or ribs or something. And I was like, okay, it's just 20 minutes. He'll just, he'll get on the floor or whatever. They'll monitor it just like, the Spurs always do with their players. He'll get the 20 minutes and he'll be fine. But they're like,
Yeah.
no, he's never played. And I'm like, wow. So at first I was like, dang, the organization really is like, we want him ready for the playoffs or whatever. And then the news came out like, yeah, he's going to be eligible for Defensive Player of the Year. I'm like, wait, hold on now. And yeah, they was like, yeah, they're going to count the NBA Cup final. I'm like, oh no, this no,
Yeah.
nah, dog.
You
Like,
see what they do? You see what they do?
yeah, yeah. So it's like, oh, so now they got this in their back pocket to
Yeah.
go back to it, just in case type situation. I'm like, man, come on, dog. This,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
They had
So,
some, like, some master strategists back there with a just in case plan
right,
or
yeah.
something.
I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
where was this? Like, when other situations popped up, like, uh, they
yeah.
own something. But
Man, absolutely. Oh, I didn't mean to take a complete left turn on you, man. I was just curious
no,
if you, heard anything about that because, going back to what I said earlier, how are they gonna enforce that? Because for the draft picks, I mean, like, you
yeah.
can't be have
So,
a first back because, like, the Spurs wouldn't have those players. I know there's another team too,
well,
is it
they may mention the Pistons because we had Cade Cunningham,
that's right,
Jaden
that's right.
Ivey, who was number 5, and then Rod Holland, who was number 5. So technically we wouldn't have those 3 all at the same time. But my thing is that doesn't that doesn't change the activity of the teams themselves. Now, I don't want to speak for my own team, okay? Because the one thing they talk about, like, oh, well, the Pistons lost 28 straight games. Clearly, they were tanking. No, number one, we already had Cade at that point. So yes, it
Yeah,
was the season that Wemby was supposed to come out, but we were not we were not like getting blown out or anything like that in those games. Like we're losing. Like I think the average. I had to go back, but I think the average loss in that 28 game streak was like 6 to 8 points. So it
okay,
wasn't like yeah, it wasn't like, like it was like maybe like a couple blowouts here or there because it was like top seeded teams or whatever. But they were actually trying to win. And
right.
so it was just that, we just didn't have the roster. So
Yeah, and y'all weren't trying to be super obvious that you were tanking. 76ers,
yeah,
you
oh,
know,
man,
trust the
I'm
process.
I am so glad you brought that up because they're like, oh my God, like, oh, it just started with these teams. No, sir, it was not.
Absolutely,
It
yeah.
was Philadelphia, and I forgot who the GM was at that time, but I remember some of the sports shows were trying to say, "Oh, they're geniuses for doing this." It was like, "No,
Well,
you're running the product on the field on the court. You
yeah,
can't
and
actively you
and you're ripping the
yeah,
fans off.
right." And they were doing it on purpose, and they were proud of it. I was like, "No, you can't have this." That's why the dude had to sell the team because it's like you're no, the overall brand and the league is paying the price for this. You can't do that. And look where it got them too. They got them absolutely nowhere.
Yeah,
No
although
finals appearances.
they looked good last night. You're right, no finals appearances. I mean, Embiid keeps getting hurt, but they look pretty good, and I would think that Maxi's a baller, you know what I'm saying? He's not a scrub. So, I don't know why they can't figure it out over there in Philly, man. I really don't. Like, whether it's head coaches, star players, I think even Paul George is on the Sixers now, right?
Yeah, he is. He is. But now there is some bad luck. They've had some bad luck too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's just all on them, but you gotta remember the process has been like what like 12 years?
Yeah,
It's
probably a little
like
bit longer than that.
yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
like, bruh, like it's been nuts. So Now the first 2 years of it was for them to acquire Embiid, and then they knew it was gonna be a rest year because he was coming off an injury. So they really didn't get, like, a full-fledged Embiid for, like, 2 years, and then try to build the team around him. Finally, by the time he got to the point and by the way, Embiid was, he was ultra silly. Remember, he was always trying to highlight Rihanna and stuff, and he was
Oh,
always like
oh yeah,
he was trying to slip into her DMs and all that type of
yeah.
so
That was hilarious.
yeah. So, he had to get the silliness out of him. So you're talking about a good 6 or 7 years before he really got serious about playing. And then, like, the closest they got was, I forgot what year it was, but Kawhi, when he got sent north of the wall, he was playing for Toronto that one
Raptors.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had, and it was like the game 7, and he rattled it in for three, and they sent him to the finals. And that was like as close as they got. And so, and everybody was like, "Oh, man," because I think MB started crying or something like that after the game was over, and they're like, "Oh, man, he's really gonna get serious." And then, like, that following season, he got hurt again. So it's like,
Yeah, I remember that.
I think, total seasons, like, of his career where he's actually was healthy the entire time, you only can think, like, maybe 1 or 2. So, between that, Ben Simmons all of a sudden forgot how to shoot. He
Yeah,
didn't wanna shoot
yeah,
free throws.
I remember that. Yeah,
Yep, and then they had the whole James Harden thing, right?
yep.
And,
Wow.
um right,
I
and
forgot
then
about all that. Yeah, man. Oof.
yeah, they had a whole bunch of drama, and of course, on top of that, then you have Doc Rivers, which I personally, and this is gonna sound terrible, but for me, Doc Rivers is the Aaron Rodgers of NBA coaches.
What?
I can't stand Doc Rivers, bro. I can't. This dude this dude got more excuses than a 5-year-old child who got caught at kindergarten. I can't stand Doc Rivers. He always has an excuse. But
Uh,
that's a kiss my grits for another day. But
he's already in the kiss my grits category. All right.
yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. I can't stand him. But yeah. So between all those things and the drama with James Harden before he left, and they finally got right with Tyrese Maxey. But now I feel like every ailment known to man, Joel Embiid has had. Just,
Yep.
like, remember, like, last year he had some type of, I don't even know what type of, like, a nerve illness or ailment or something
Yeah, it
like
was
that, where his
something.
eye could not stay in one place. Like, I was like, "What? He be finding diseases." I don't.
Well, it's all that stress, man, because when you're that tall and that big, man, you're not supposed to be running up and down like that for that long. So body wears down. It's gonna wear down faster than the rest of ours. So maybe that might have something to do with it. And
Maybe.
genetics, obviously, right? But
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But I mean,
snake bit.
several snakes. He done had,
Yeah.
several snakes been biting him, like 3 or 4 black cats across his path. He probably walked
Yep.
under a ladder, and then when he got home, he opened up a couple umbrellas. I don't know what's going on. He
Man.
he
And
he got
smashed a
everything
mirror
going on.
along or two
Right.
along the way.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, man.
that's crazy.
Although, I will say this, man, just to kind of be fair, the brother is talented, and I hope he gets a chip at some point. I don't like to see people who aren't like super talented and you can tell he does care for the game, bro. He when he's out there, he's not like not just
Yeah.
scrubbing it. You know what I mean? He's out there competing at least, even when he's hurt. This dude has
Yeah.
played when he's hurt, by the way, in the
He does.
playoffs.
He
You know?
does. Yeah, he does, and I will say that about him is, like, once he got, like I said, like, the first few years of, getting all that silliness out, he really stepped up, and I do appreciate that. But now it's just like, the prime is so important, and that's where, like, for some of these young stars, these young brothers that are out here right now that are just wasting their youth, like, Zion and John Morant come to mind.
Oh man,
Um, like, you have such immense talent, and it will go in the blink of an eye. You just do not understand, like, how finite this time period is, and so
absolutely,
you've got to max it out. And it's like, it's so
absolutely.
important. It's so important to have yourself grounded, and you can have your little playtime, but man, you got to stay on business, man.
Yeah,
Um,
like Kobe, like
yes,
Jordan.
yes.
Like,
And sometimes, I can't. I can't stand him sometimes, and I'm glad, well, both, Monster and Wu Pig aren't here right now, but even LeBron, man, the amount of longevity this man had and the focus that he has, now that's something I can't take away from that man. Now, he
Yeah,
might
I
flop a little
agree.
bit too much with his 6 foot, 255-pound self. I might can't stand that stuff, but in general, he stands on business and he takes care of his body all the time, and he's an example. He's a pillar of excellence when it comes to that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
Want professionalism too on the court.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, um,
Yes.
oh,
I'd agree. I agree. So overall, man, what do you think about these playoffs for this year? I think there's been some good quality games. Do you have any surprises that you're kind of like, wow, I
yeah,
didn't think they would make it through? And who do you think's going to end up in the finals?
man. So if we would have had a show before the playoffs started, I would be in mortal danger right now because I would have had Denver and Detroit as my NBA finals. That's
Hmm.
what I had in mind, and both of them are in big, big trouble. Uh, now, a little bit of breaking news for the 210 show. The Pistons just won game 5 tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, so they just won, so they're going to game 6.
And who they playing?
They're playing Orlando, the AC, bro. I tell you,
The
I
Division
won't say I
Two.
will yeah, bro, okay, me and Monster were having a discussion before the playoffs start, and we are just looking at, okay, who could we play, who we can come out of the play-in and all this other type of stuff, and I said I wanted Charlotte. That's who I wanted because I wanted just to show, I just wanted to show that ball boy what playoff basketball is all about. But
Uh,
they lost to Orlando, and Monster was like, "Dude, that's the one team you probably don't want to see." And I was like, "You may be right," but I was like, "Man, we got enough. Like we a 60-win team, man. We're not gonna mess around with these boys. You know what I'm saying? Bob Carroll, he's cool. Desmond Bain and his linebacker looking self. I mean, yeah, that's cool. But but I mean, but outside that, who am I afraid of? Man, look here. These dudes that came out here, they just showing their whole ass right now, and I'm like, I don't understand.
yeah.
I just we really got exposed in this playoff series. And to
Well,
be honest with you, and a little side story to all of this, apparently, Jalen Duren, our center, who was a finalist for Most Improved. Well, I didn't know, but he was dating Angel Reese for a little while.
what?
And yes, yes, I did not know this. Right?
Man.
So apparently they were in a relationship and then, something happened or whatever. And now she is in a relationship with Wendell Carter Jr., who is the center for the Magic. Now,
Oh, jeez.
yes. So now this whole entire series, Jalen Duren has been on a milk carton. His game has gone absent. It has been gone. Like he normally averages about 20, 21, and about 14, 15. Man, this dude barely putting up double digit points, bro. I'm like, he got dunked on. He got dunked on in game 4.
Man.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Raider. Let me tell you, man. His soul got snatched.
Oh.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? One of them classic poster dunks. Like my man just elevated. His head was above the rim. He crashed on my man, and Jalen Duren went to the ground. I
Uh,
said, "Oh my god!"
oh,
I was like,
man. That
and
poor
this dude
young
is not
man.
even a starter, bro. He's not
Oh
even a
my
starter.
gosh.
It wasn't even like anybody in the starting lineup. It was a dude that was coming out the bench. He just found a clear lane. He just elevated like something like Blake Griffin or Vince Carter or somebody, and just jammed on him. And I was like, oh
Wow.
my god, so that was the game, and we went down 3-1, and I'm like, oh my god, are we really about to get gentlemen swept out of here? Like, what are we
Ugh.
doing? Gotta
Yeah.
evaluate everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's in line to
Yeah.
make about 100 and like a real max contract, especially if he makes all NBA. So it's like, yo, do we really have to take a second look at this? So
I think you should.
I
And
mean,
and it seems like your team is still suffering from the regular season flu. These are the playoffs. It doesn't matter what your regular season record was.
eh,
You know,
what's funny?
you got to lock in.
I don't disagree with that, but I almost think like the whole focus this whole season was we gotta get back at the Knicks because of what
Mm,
happened last year in the playoffs.
yeah.
And it really took it to heart, and it really showed that. and they had this emotion this entire time, and every time we saw the Knicks, we beat their ass by like 35. But now you got this up and coming team here who a lot of prognosticators and stuff like that come into the season really had high hopes for. And really, we took their spot for the most part because they were saying like, "Oh, Orlando has the type of team where they could really be a number one seed or something like that if everything worked out right." Especially with Indiana having Tyrese Halliburton being down for the season and Jason Tatum for the Celtics going down, so they figured like, "Oh, this is a perfect opportunity for Orlando." But man, we just completely flipped the script. But they had a lot of injuries as well, and now their guys were just coming back, like mid-March going to April, they were getting their guys back. So they were one of those sneaky teams like, "Hey, we can just hang on, get our guys back,
Mm.
we might make some noise."
Yeah, could have a
And
chance.
yeah, and so now they taking that momentum into the playoffs, and they're taking it out on us, and I'm like, "Yo, what in the world's going on?" So now we're in a dogfight, and we gotta figure this thing out. We took care of business tonight, but there's no room for Aaron anymore. We gotta throw everything at it just to get rid of this team. So the only saving grace on that, and I'll pivot right now, is the 3-6 series with Toronto and Cleveland. The first 2 games of that series, Cleveland really took care of business, and they thought, "Whoa,
Yep. They
we're
thought they
gonna
had it in
sweep
the
them up out
bag.
of there." Yeah,
Yeah.
but and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they lost tonight too.
Oh,
Um,
did they? I haven't had a chance to see any of
I
those games tonight.
yeah, I haven't took. Oh, so wait a minute. Oh no, they're in the fourth quarter. They're in the fourth quarter right now. They're up by 2.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, but still, they're in the dogfight at home,
Mm.
against the Raptors team, and so I at what looked like to be a sweep is looking like it's going to at least 6. So
So let me ask you this, and just going back to Detroit series for a second. So, would it be possible that it would be a good thing if y'all got gentlemen swept? Because wouldn't that light even more of a fire? Like you just got embarrassed. You had a
I'll
60
tell you,
win season. You get bounced out of first round by Orlando, even though they're a sneaky good team, but they're a young team. I know you have a young team as well, but I'm just saying your team is a little
yeah,
more experienced than Orlando, obviously.
yeah,
I think it'd be a good thing. Like look at Jordan's Bulls in what, 86, 87. Weren't they getting,
um,
was it 86, 87? I think it was somewhere around there.
uh, I think they lost to the I think it was the Celtics, I think, that put them out, if I'm not mistaken,
It
but,
was something. It was something.
um,
So they were. It's like one of the best years that they had for a while. But then they got to the playoffs and they got their butt kicked. And I forget what
yeah,
team it was. But I remember the interview, especially. And I think Say the Last Dance actually kind of talks that was the catalyst to be able to turn everything around. And all right, that's it. We're gonna get
right.
over this edge. So maybe that might be something that is good for y'all squad, man.
So,
Is Maxi that dude or not?
well, okay, so the thing about it is, now as far as Cade
Or
Cunningham's
not
concerned,
Maxey. I'm sorry,
yeah,
not Maxey. Maxey's on the
yeah,
Sixers.
yeah, I know what
The
you meant,
young
but
fella
yeah.
that y'all
Yeah,
drafted.
Cade Cunningham. Yeah,
Yep,
Cade
yep,
Cunningham is the man.
that
Like
guy.
tonight,
Yeah,
he came out tonight, like gangbusters. I think he put up 45 tonight, I think.
there you
Looking
go.
right now.
Good job,
Yeah,
young
he put up,
fella.
45, yeah. So, he's not the problem. He has not been the problem. The only thing that has been the Achilles heel for him is turnovers, and I think he had 6 turnovers tonight, but the thing was, some of those turnovers is not his fault because, like I said, Jalen Duren has been on a milk carton. He can't even catch the damn ball when he get the pass. I'm like,
Just
bruh, you
still shell
like
shocked from the dunk, bro. He's dunk shot
shell shock for
still.
bruh. Like it's really really bad. This series has really, I don't want to say exposed, but to where we thought he clearly is not. And
Yes.
so I I I compare him to Dwight Howard. As
Ooh.
young as he is, right, when he first came out, right? When he first came out, and he his to me, I felt like his offensive game was a lot more polished than Dwight Howard's was when he first came into the league, and he showed that in the regular season. But like I said, as soon as the playoffs start, like, it's been he ain't facing up nobody, he ain't really, like, try to be big, It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You're a
Man.
man child, man, do something?
Yeah.
So,
So you don't think it'd be a good thing if y'all lost?
no, because the progress that we went from, the 14-win season to tripling your win total the year before to win the 60 games this year, you don't want to stagnate when they get to the playoffs. Like, to me,
Yeah.
especially the way everything is stacking up right now, I feel like that we're capable of making a at least an Eastern Conference final run. That's how I
Oh,
felt like going
yeah.
going into these playoffs, right? But to have this team fall short like this, especially against a team that, that barely shoots 30% from three, like, come on, man. Like, we gotta be better than that. We know that we're better than that, especially with an MVP caliber player like Cade Cunningham on the team. But you need other people to come with him. And right now he's just behind the driver's seat
Yeah.
with nobody in the car with him. So it's just
Yeah.
like, hey,
I would agree with you, man. I think your squad has a legit shot for the East Conference Finals here for the next few years, but I think the Knicks are kind of fading. I don't like what I'm seeing in this playoff series.
no,
I
no,
think Jalen, and Jalen's that dude there. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great baller, but I think he's handling the ball too much. Because if you look at when they actually get a shot taken off, it's around 8 seconds left on the clock, and if they trap Jalen, then he has to look for somebody that's open, and then they're scrambling to get a shot.
right.
And
And
it's
it
like,
doesn't
and I
help
was
when
pointing
it's
that out to a mutual friend of ours that we
uh-huh.
both know,
Yeah.
and he agreed too. So I mean, like I said, you don't want to take that aggressiveness from him, but I think he needs to adjust his game a little bit. And then I saw in the second half of last week's game that he did do that. He got some more assists. But anyway, I do think you're right. I think Boston's not going anywhere. I think
No, no,
Tatum is
definitely
showing
not.
that he's healthy.
Yeah,
Jalen Brown's doing Jalen Brown things, and their role
yeah,
players are still role playing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, and
yeah.
honestly, this is probably going to shock you. I think that they have a really good shot of making it to the finals. I'm not going to give up on them yet.
Well, I'll say, you know, eh, we still got 2 more games to go, and,
Yep.
the playoffs are still, in the early stages here, but if we get out of this and we escape out of this, we'll take the winner of, I think, Toronto and Cleveland next, but if we're gonna see Boston in the final, in the Eastern Conference Final, we're gonna have our work cut off for us. But the one advantage that we do have is I feel like when we have a low post advantage with Duran and Stewart,
Yeah,
but,
I can see
um,
that.
yeah, but the biggest weakness we have is their strength, which is three-point shooter.
Mm.
Like, we only have 2 dudes on the squad that are like bona fide three-point shooters, Duncan Robinson and Kevin Huerter. K can hit. If he's hot that night, then yeah, he can do that. But like straight up, like outside shooters, it's just those 2.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, Boston prides themselves on shooting threes all the time. So
Well,
now
I'm gonna say something you're probably not gonna like, bro. You don't want to see Cleveland in the next round. You don't. You just
yeah, I
don't.
do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
No.
Because
I
you know
think
why?
I
You
think that's a sneaky team, bro, that will get you.
Uh, they can. They're capable. But me and Monster, we talk about this all the time. The one thing about the one thing about the Cleveland squad right now is you got playoff James Harden.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
if I got it, if we get them in a situation where James Harden has to save them, then I'm good. I'm good. History tells me I ain't got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, because
So
he ain't gonna be able to guard Cunningham.
no. Um and
You
and
know what
the
I'm
thing
saying?
about it is, yeah, and the thing about it is in the games that we played against them, Donovan Mitchell does not like Asar Thompson. He absolutely hates him because he's long enough, he's fast enough to keep up with him, and he bothers him a lot. So he does not like that matchup at all. So
Yeah,
as
well,
far as James Harden is concerned, okay, K can handle his own against him. He's just as big as him, if not bigger, and he's a lot younger. So that that is a matchup which matters in our favor. The only thing that Cleveland has on us is they have 2, Mobley and I forgot the center's name.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Jared, not Jared Jack. I can't think of his name, but their center duo is formidable. But I think they could be had if Jared Allen, that's his name, Jared Allen.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
but yeah, they're a formidable duo, but they're taller, but they're a lot smaller.
Mm.
Unlike Bunkero and Wendell Carter, who have some girth to them, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen are not. So if Evan Mobley, if he wants to be an outside shooter, I think that works to our advantage because we have the foot speed to actually keep up with him, but we also have the girth down low. If he wants to try to take us down low, we can actually give him some fits. So, but
Yeah.
and there's sometimes they underachieve too. So that's why I feel like I'm not as concerned about Cleveland than you are. But to me,
I don't think it's
the
gonna
one
be a
team that
sweep.
I huh?
I'll tell you, I don't think Detroit's gonna sweep them. 'Em, I'll tell you that.
No, definitely not. No, no, absolutely not. I think it will be a 6, 7 game series easy, but I think we can get I think we can pull it off if we had to.
Yeah. Okay. So who'd you say you have in the finals? Who do you see? I know you probably want your squad
Yeah,
to be there,
if
but
I
if
had
we're
to
looking at a
if
objective analysis,
yeah,
who
yeah,
you
if
got?
I had so knowing what we know now, looking at how things are looking right now, it's looking like Oklahoma City and Boston.
Yeah, I'd
Uh,
agree.
it I mean, the well, I'm pretty sure we'll talk about the west part of the bracket in a minute, but as far as top to bottom, especially with some of these other teams, how they're struggling right now. And, the injury bug has not really crept in yet. So if all these teams are healthy, Boston has the most experience. They have an advantage because Jason Tatum is still really getting his sea legs back for the most part.
Yeah, he's
And so,
balling, man.
yeah, and Jalen Brown has proven to be a bona fide stud. And so everybody needs to add their respect to him. So if they're on their game and if they want to take care of business, they can sweep anybody, to be honest. They're strong enough to do that. So,
Yeah.
um,
I know you said something else. We're gonna get to the West in a minute, bro. Honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, and this is gonna sound mean, I apologize to all the other fans out there of different Western Conference teams, but there's really only two teams that are worth talking about. It's the Thunder and the Spurs, because the
yeah,
Spurs are a hot team right now.
yes, yes, they
Outside of
are.
that, I mean, you have no Luca, no Reeves on the Lakers, even though they're up and they're playing Houston. They're not gonna get past. Wait, who
What
would they play?
well, see, that's the thing. If they once they get past Houston, they got OKC waiting for them. So,
Yeah,
like,
no,
yeah, that's it.
that's what I thought. I just need that's what I thought, but like that's gonna be bad, bro. That's gonna that's
Hey,
just
Pete,
Shea Butter is on something else, man, and they're
dude,
they're still they're still clicking at a high clip.
my goodness, and like their number 2 guy is not even on the team right now. Like,
Exactly,
I'm like,
exactly. They're
but
loaded,
you know what's
bro.
but you know what's worse? Just a side note, real quick. You know what's worse?
What?
They got lottery picks for the next, I think, 4
Oh
years.
yeah, that's right,
4
dude.
years. Like, they
Yeah,
like, in some of these years, they got multiple. I'm like, "What oh, the league gonna have to I don't whatever magic, whatever voodoo, hoodoo, or whatever they got going on, they need to go ahead and implement that right now. Because if you
yeah.
don't, everything is gonna go through Oklahoma City for the next 5 years."
Yeah. Now, hey, listen, OKC is an amazing sports city, believe it or not, bro. Like I've been down there. I see how they're crazy over their Thunder, man. Like they're to the max, man. So even though it's a small market, that
Yeah.
market is it's popping for them.
Just
So
like San Antonio.
yeah, yeah. That's what it felt like when I was over like the Spurs during like the Tim Duncan and Ginobili and Parker days,
Yeah.
Not not pre Tim Duncan, there were still fanatic Spurs fans, but it wasn't as intense
Right.
'cause that's how they
Right.
got Tim Duncan, So, anyway, I agree with you, bro, and I that's what I'm saying is, like, I think the Thunder are gonna be basically 5 years, maybe if they can manage a cap and the players and all that stuff, I think they're gonna be legit for about 5 years. I don't think anybody from the West is gonna touch them because the Nuggets, what's going on there, man? That's just a sad sight to see. It really is.
You're gonna need a you're gonna need a significant player shift, and unfortunately, the rules have changed. Like, the cap rules have changed, so you can't have these big threes anymore. Like, you can't pull a LeBron and, try to get your best friends to come together, and they just take a little bit of less money and they all play. Then you can't do that no more. So,
Yeah.
um,
And then the Mavs, right? So the Mavs, but they would be an exciting team next year when Kyrie comes back. Because
ye
right now, man, you know,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I think that so I think those are probably the 3 teams if I'm looking at across the board on the West. I don't
Well,
think Luka is gonna be able to do anything because I think LeBron James is gonna retire after this year, and the Lakers basically have no draft picks pretty much.
yeah. Well, well, first of all, and again, good thing Wu Pig ain't here because he's not gonna like this part of the conversation. But they but they dug this grave on their own.
Yes,
This
they
is the
did.
gift and the curse of LeBron James.
Yeah.
He forces you to give up your war chest to keep competitive. And unfortunately, if you get to a certain point where you need to infuse your team with young talent, and when you don't have it, this is what happens. So,
Hey,
so
so question. So one of the examples of what you're talking about, I remember it was with Westbrook. He wanted Westbrook instead of he ended up going
oh,
to the Spurs. What was his
no.
name?
Actually goes before that because remember, for when LeBron first got there, he had Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart, Caruso, and I think Jordan Clarkson. I think was still on the team, I believe, but he wanted Anthony Davis, so they traded. They traded. Oh, they had Brandon Ingram. That's what it was. Not
Yeah.
Caruso. They had Brandon Ingram. So
Yeah,
they
because he
traded
was a
Brandon
part of that
Ingram.
trade.
Yep. They Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart. They traded a lot of them plus draft picks to get
AD, yeah. I
AD.
remember that.
Yep. Right. So 2 years goes by. Bubble happens. They get their bubble championship. They come back, and he insists that they get Russell Westbrook. Even though I think at the time they could got I think they could have got like Chris Paul or somebody
They
like that
wanted
for like
DeRozan.
cheap. Yes, that's right. They wanted DeRozan. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think I think the Lakers wanted DeRozan, but LeBron wanted Westbrook.
Right. Yeah, that's
And
what I remember hearing about.
yeah, so then they traded more draft capital because I think that was when I forgot who they sent to get Westbrook, but they bring him along, and
Yeah,
it was a
it didn't
complete
work out.
disaster. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a complete disaster. So then they tried to get rid of him, but of course, if you had to get rid of him, you had to add some draft picks in there to whoever the team wanted, and so now they're in their current state, and all of a sudden, oh, we want Luca. Okay, well, first of all, this is the biggest highest of all because how in the world that you get a under 26 multiple all NBA player and basically a player swap and no picks involved. How they was able to squeeze that, I have no idea. The league should be
Yeah.
investigated just for that alone. But the Lakers are the Lakers, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But now because again, like we talk because of the league rules and making salaries work and stuff like that, LeBron's salary does not allow them to be as flexible as they want to bring players in. So now he
Oh,
walks away because he's in the final year of his contract. So now it's Luca, but you want to build around him, but it's not going to be much to do.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Um,
Whew. Dude, that was a lot, bro. That was a lot of NBA content, man. Just looking at it, man, we
yeah.
killed almost an hour talking about
Oh my
NBA, but
God.
that's some good stuff though.
Yes, sir.
I think a lot of the NBA fans out there, especially with the questions that you raised earlier in the pod, are thinking along the lines of the same thing, man. And
Hmm.
those are good questions. So that's good stuff, man. Good take.